Alright. Is it open? I think it's all set. See where we're at. Alright. Hello everyone, happy Monday. And welcome to the stream. So, again, I'm just going to be playing some more of my... Looks like I have some challenges, so I'm going to be doing some challenges. And otherwise, maybe I'll get some more games of that arena run I had from last time. And it's possible I'll also play with that new constructed deck. But other than that, I guess let's just get into it. So I got a challenge from Soulhound for Dark Draft. So we'll see if Soulhound is online right now. I'm going to go ahead and probably it's just going to be Winter Fairy here. And the nice thing about Winter Fairy is that it's just a very good on-turn establisher. My Hurricane's also reasonable. These are both good picks. For me, it's... So High King is too heavy of a loyalty card. In order to take this, I have to go really heavy into good, because if you don't have a loyalty 2... good evening. It depends. So if you, in the app, it's just 3 cards. There is, the way it's worded in the physical game, in the past it's been 4. But basically, just like how in the Star Realms app there's some differences between the physical and the digital game, the Lessons Learned on Ancient Chant doesn't draw you 4 cards because the interaction is very unintuitive. Basically, what happens in Lessons Learned Ancient Chant in physical right now is you Lessons Learned Ancient Chant. So basically, your Ancient Chant leaves the discard pile as you play it, which causes it to be to trigger the draw a card when it leaves your discard pile effect. Then it gets played by Lessons Learned to draw you 2 cards, and then it goes back to the discard pile. Then it gets banished, which draws you a 4th card. So as it stands right now, the Lessons Learned in digital just banishes the card straight from straight after it's played. It gets banished instead of going to the discard pile. Epic years. I'm gonna take this Hurricane. So the reason I thought about that decision for a while. I like Hurricane because it's just very good to have off-turn board clears, and especially in Dark Draft, it's very easy to have this be asymmetrical, where you can deal 9 damage to your opponent's champions and break all of them, but you can keep just a random Triceratops or something. So that's where we're going to take Hurricane. I think that Winter Fairy is a high quality card. It's very good at establishing. You play it on an empty board, you draw a card, and then your opponent's put in a tough spot. Either they can't not deal with it, because if it's not blocked, every turn it'll draw you a card and deal 4 damage to the opponent. They can't just remove it for free. I mean, they have to spend a card, and then you draw a second card when it gets broken. So usually this is going to be better than a draw 2, and basically that's really good. It also puts something in play. So worst case scenario, you can play it, draw a card, and then block your opponent's attack on their turn and draw another card when it breaks. So main downside, it's pretty weak to being returned to hand because you just draw a single card. It's weak to being if your opponent gains control of it, because then if they can get it to break when they have it, they'll draw the card instead of you. That's pretty much it. Otherwise, just a solid card. Otherwise, these other 2, Demo is solid as well. It really, this card's undervalued. I'm gonna have to make a Demo deck, but this card puts 3 wolves into play. So it's a lot like Raxa, in that you get a lot of bodies. So if your opponent has some kind of removal for this Den Mother, you still get 3 champions. But the way to play this is you can attack with your wolf tokens, and then if they block, let's see, even if they block all 3 wolf tokens, this is suddenly going to be 17 offense breakthrough with 17 defense. So you'll probably get in for a ridiculous amount. So you can think of this like Burrowing Worm, but it makes more wolf tokens, and it has a little bit of counterplay. Can't drain Essence of Burrowing Worm, but I really like this card. It's like Raxa, basically. I've ever played with Raxa. Heliod's Fury is also solid. The second effect is kind of conditional, so I wouldn't pick this highly in most decks. I think it's fine if you need some more card draw. It doesn't look like Soulhound's on right now. I got that challenge a little earlier today, so I'm going to go ahead and start this draft against the Texan. Alright, let's see what we got here. This is an interesting pack. For me, it's probably Raxa's Curse, but this pack is solid. So Plentiful Dead is a great card if you're heavy into evil, because unlike most cards with recall, this one goes back to your hand whenever you play another evil card. You can actually play this, then play the 1-cost evil card, and it goes back to your hand right away. So your opponent never gets a chance to interact with it if you always use it that way. It'll just add a zombie token and you lose a health onto all of your evil 1-cost cards, and that's really strong. But you don't want to play this without that, because a zombie token isn't very good for 0. You really want to get that recurring value out of it. Pyrosaur is also a great card. Also requires you to have yeehaw. It also requires you to have loyalty 2 really for this card to be worth it, because you want to get that attack. Otherwise, it's just going to get hit with a consume or something. That's not going to be great. So for me, it's between these other 3. I think Surprise Attack is not a card I pick early. This card's pretty much only going to be really strong in specific decks. It shines in Constructed, where you can build your deck around Surprise Attack, and it helps you basically add ambush champions to your deck without really putting more in. But if you don't have a champion in hand, this card is useless. So, and it really only does anything if you have a 1-cost champion that doesn't have ambush. So we're not going to take that. So it's between Consume and Raxa's Curse. Personally, I like Raxa's Curse. I like draw 2s, so especially in Dark Draft. I think in general, I would prefer Consume. If this was last pick and I felt like I had plenty of draw 2s, I'd probably take Consume, because of its ability to randomly kill 1-cost champions like Pyrosaur. But I'm going to take the Raxa's Curse, which I personally like more first pick, because of the reduction. It makes your deck just... Alright, looks like that we're playing against the Texan right now, so that's great. So yeah, I'm going to take the Raxa's Curse. Alright. But yeah, if you have any other rules questions, I might know the rules better than anyone else, so feel free to ask away. I love them. I love the little nuances. Alright, let's see what we got. So I could go into Evil here and take them Sedusa. I personally always like doing that. Probably the safest pick here would be Rescue Griffin Revolt, since these 2 cards are both solid on their own. I mean, worst case scenario, Revolt is a draw 2, but you can also use it to chump a big ground attack like a Rampaging Worm, or just attack for 3. If your opponent doesn't have any blockers, you can basically fireball them by making a 1/1 with +2 attack this turn. So Revolt solid, Rescue Griffin. There's not many 0-cost champions with 7. I think this is one of the only ones. There's also Ankylosaurus, but the ambush is really relevant. This is almost always going to either stop an attack, so it'll gain you some health and play a 3/7 with Airborne, or you can, eat a zombie token or something. Plus, people always like to get greedy with their muses. It's really good for stopping that. So I am probably just going to try and move into red here and take this Medusa. It's a little early, but I think I want to try it out. I'll take the Medusa here. And personally, between the Rescue Griffin and the Revolt, probably going to be Revolt for me. I think Rescue Griffin's also very good. But again, before I have much of a deck, I want to make sure I have some draw 2s. This is more about consistency. I think Rescue Griffin's stronger in the slot. Yes, if yeah, set 7. Alright, I keep getting notifications. Okay, I'm not sure what that notification. I keep getting notifications, so I'm thinking maybe it's the game. I'm not sure. Anyway, alright, let's just continue. So, from here, it's probably going to be Hunting Pack. I mean, Angel of Mercy is pretty hard to swing without other good champions in my deck. And also, Spore Beast. Again, I need loyalty 2 for this to do anything. Pack Alpha is not where I want to be generally. I think this card's hard to use. It just doesn't do enough most of the time. I mean, you can play it, you're not really going to attack for 5, so you're going to make 2 wolf tokens, and then if your opponent doesn't have any removal, then this can just continually block big champions, which is its most valuable use. Temporal Enforcer, again, requires loyalty 2. I don't have any Sage cards yet, so I'm going to take this Hunting Pack, which I think is a solid card. Hunting Pack is great because you just get removal plus another bonus on your opponent's turn. So don't underestimate this card. It's fantastic in Dark Draft. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I took Rescue Griffin there, I still would not take Angel of Mercy. Angel of Mercy is risky. It doesn't look risky, but it's weak to anything that banishes cards out of your discard pile. They're all basically every 0-cost one. So you got Guilt Demon, Keeper of Secrets, Heinous Feast, Amnesia it's all weak to those. It's also weak to Lightning Strike because you can just Lightning Strike it, and Vanishing. So that's at least 6 0-cost cards that just completely ruin your day if you play Angel of Mercy. And it's not very good if they can stop it. It's just a 4/5 with Airborne. Alright, so I'm going to take these 2 evil cards here because I want to fill up my evils, and they're both great cards. Alright, this pack, it's a little bit more of a question. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to jump into Brave Squire right here. I've talked about this card before. It's just extremely solid. It's very hard to go wrong. It is not very versatile, so I can't use it to draw 2, but that's one of the reasons that I really like picking up those draw 2s early so that I can take these more powerful options like Hunting Pack and Brave Squire that don't have draw 2 as an option because I know I'm already set on my draw 2s. So I'm going to take this Brave Squire. Other cards here, Cave Troll is play opponent's discard pile, banish. Cave Troll is not going to be good if I don't have enough green cards, which I don't yet. Chomp is fine, off-turn removal, but it's not where we want to be. It's more like the kind of card I'd pick up if I was missing off-turn removal and I really need to fill it. Siren Song is not amazing, just because there's a lot of 0-cost champions that they do something else. So, you know, you take your opponent's tribute 0-cost champion, they still get the tribute. If it gets bounced, it's weak to that. So probably this is my least favorite of all the 0-cost removals. I mean, it does have a really big upside. You can steal a Muse or something and run away with it, but it's also very high risk. So I tend to steer away from the really high risk cards. And Insurgency is more of an archetype defining card, so we'd want more human token cards. And right now I just have the Revolt, so that's going to get tossed. So right now we're looking for more evil cards to round these out. We do actually have some token synergies, so anything that works well with tokens will probably work well in our deck. And here, normally I really do like picking up Discard Pile Banishment, but I'm probably not going to take the Corpse Monger here because I think I want Divine Judgment. Well, I think I want Lightning Strike for sure. I want more ways to get rid of small champions. And Lightning Strike is just, it really goes above and beyond. I mean, you're frequently going to hit a random 1-cost card with Lightning Strike. It really shines in the Dark Draft and Random 60, where there are just abundance of targets. And then between Gudgeon and Corpse Monger, it's more questionable. Personally, I prefer the Gudgeon, so I'm probably going to take that. I already have 2 board clears with Apocalypse. Oh wait, I don't have Hurricane in this one. Could take Divine Judgment. It's also fine. Could take Divine Judgment. We also need red cards. Probably just going to take the Gudgeon here. I personally like the Gudgeon a lot. I probably overplay it. But what can I say? I get to draw 2 cards and I get this Gudgeon out? That sounds wonderful. Giving yourself untargetable is relevant so often. It helps you against direct damage decks. It helps you against... Alright, this is an easy pick. I mean, Keeper of Secrets, don't get me wrong. This card I'd also like because it can banish my opponent's discard pile. I don't have any way to do that right now. But in my personal opinion, I think Necromancer Lord is the strongest of the evil loyalty 2s that you can pick up in Dark Draft. So I'm definitely going to take that. In Constructed, maybe Angel of Death. That one's also very strong. But in Dark Draft, I mean, you're much less likely to get punished for Necromancer Lord. They're not gonna run a ton of random, Wolf's Bite and Amnesias. So if they can't get this off the board, then it's just gonna run away with the game. And on its own, it's just going to be a lot of value. Even if you just use it once, they have to get rid of that and also whatever you bring back. It's like a 1-cost card, plus you get an expended Necromancer Lord. Alright. That Righteous Discussion. Yeah! Yeah, that would be pretty funny. That would be really great. Stream that has struck out. Alright, I'm probably going to take this Zealous Necromancer and the Standalone. I mean, the Risen's also fine. I think it's okay, but the problem with the Risen is that it's only ever going to be 3 zombie tokens, so you can't use it to draw 2. It's a bit situational, and if you can't use the tokens the turn you play it, like if you want to use this on your opponent's turn, then you're going to have to block attacks. Otherwise, it's just 3 zombies, so that's worse than Reap and Sow. And the Evil Champions gain Blitz and +1/+1 this turn is actually sometimes relevant with certain cards. So, for example, let's say I have a Zealous Necromancer out, and I make some attacks, my opponent's champions break, then I could play the Risen to give my zombie tokens that I made off the Zealous Necromancer Blitz, and then attack with those as well. So it does have some synergies for sure. It's also good with Rift Summoner. You can break one of your champions, make 2 demon tokens, and then your 2 demon tokens can gain Blitz and when you play the Risen and also attack. So it's good with that. So Palace Guard's very good here, but I also really like Raxa. So I'm going to take the Raxa here for a couple of reasons. Now, the reason that I think these are both good, yeah, honestly though, voting would be pretty fun. I'll do that sometime. Maybe that could be a special stream. Alright, so Raxa here. Raxa's great because it gets rid of small champions for free. And then you get a huge board. You get 18 offense worth of champions in play for your gold. And Palace Guard is also very good. It's just banishing something and getting a champion out. This is so unconditional. It's also reasonable body. It's going to block your opponent's demon tokens. It's going to... I mean, 6 isn't too much, but it's not irrelevant. They can't ignore it. I'm going to go with the Raxa because I want more evil cards. So I think it's close for those two. If I had a lot of good cards, I'd probably take the Palace Guard. Alright, so from this pack, I definitely want the Martial Law. That'll give me a second way to clear the board, which is always nice. And then, I mean, Entangling Vines is actually fine. I don't really have a lot of ambush champions. I guess I have actually 3 ambush champions. And I kind of count Hunting Pack here. It's basically an ambush champion. So I'm going to take the Thrasher Demon in this case. This card has loyalty too, so it's not worth taking. I actually really like Entangling Vines. It's like an ambush punisher, basically. But I'm going to take the Thrasher Demon. I want to fill up my loyalty to evil cards here. And Thrasher Demon, sometimes you just play it and you don't attack with it so that you can block your opponent's Sea Titan or a Raging T-Rex, and that works. It can just be a 1/1 trade with anything if you need it to be. Alright, so from this pack, it's probably going to be Amnesia. Now, I just don't have any discard pile banishment. My opponent's already gotten 2 with Keeper of Secrets and Corpse Monger if they've taken them. So I definitely want to pick up Amnesia. Definitely want some way to interact with the discard pile. Flashfire is also very good. Basically, I can just pull those up here. Scroll all the way down. Secret Legion was completely reasonable as well. I mean, the thing is, this card just has not as high of a ceiling. It is very good with Revolt, which you've already also had. So if you play Secret Legion, then Revolt, then you get 7 human tokens, with each with 3 offense, and you just swing for 21, which can just kill your opponent. But it is weak against Flashfire, which is in the same pack. So our opponent's almost 100% going to pick both of these 2 cards up. Maybe Worm Hatchling or Priest of Kalnor if they're heavy into green or heavy into good. Yeah. blocking with Thrasher. Well, I mean, usually people just want to make it big right away so it doesn't die to Plague or Lightning Storm or any of it deal 2 damage. You know, Force Mage, Flash Fire, Wolf Spike, and Flame Spike. But leaving it as a blocker is good, especially Raging T-Rex has to attack, so if you just play this in pass, then they have to either get rid of it or their Raging T-Rex will be forced to attack into it. It's one of the reasons that I really like Sea Titan in Constructed is because if you play Sea Titan against an opponent's T-Rex, they have to attack their T-Rex into your Sea Titan. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it can also be good against something like an untargetable, like Steel Golem or Sea Titan, because those cards, they can't give it Rage or Lash. So if you block their big untargetable thing with your Thrasher Demon, then you won't have to worry about dying all of a sudden, or just taking 15 to the face. Let's see. Interesting. All right, they're probably just thinking. I'll give them a little bit more time here. See what else we have. So like right now I can make some assumptions about their deck. So they probably, first pack, they probably took, alright. I'm going to take this Guilt Demon. I've talked about it before, I really like that card. And then it's probably also going to be Necrovirus. I think Necrovirus is very good. You get to break a champion and then you get a chump blocker. So even though both players get a zombie token, that's actually better than neither player getting a zombie token. Because the worst part about playing a removal spell first before your opponent spends their gold is that they might play a blitz champion and attack you. This will give you a chump blocker, so it just stops a bunch of random ground blitz champions. If you Necrovirus on their turn when they attack, then they can't just play Rampaging Worm and get him for 14. So solid for that, and also this side benefit is very good. You get an extra 3 zombies later. Very good. Alright, where was I? So, first pack. If I had this pack, I probably would take... be tough. I probably would take Pyrosaur Surprise Attack and try and go into green. That's just my personal preference. Consume Plentiful Dead is also fine, but I don't know. Plentiful Dead's kind of rough to take early. I don't think they're an evil because they've just passed me so many, where can I see that? So many good evil cards here. Let's see, the second 2 picks were second pack. So they passed me Medusa, Rift Summoner, Apocalypse. There's no way that they're not evil. That they aren't evil, I mean. No way they're evil. So that means they had to have taken at least Consume, plus either Surprise Attack or Pyrosaur, or Surprise Deck and Pyrosaur. They probably took Surprise Deck and Pyrosaur. Alright, in this pack, probably going to take Vanishing here. I think Vanishing is very good. I really like Vanishing in Dark Draft. And, you know, it's also just a draw 2, which is fine, but you can do a lot of things with it. You can punish your opponent's ambush champion play, you can punish their slow play, their random... I'm trying to think about... They drop down a Triceratops or something. Vanishing it on your turn is always nice. And also you can use it on your own zero-cost champions. Like your own Thrash, you can... Thrasher Demon is not the best example, but you could Guilt Demon attack, banish 2 of their cards, then vanishing it, and then play it again in attack if you want to banish 4 cards for some reason. Or even play it, attack, and then before passing to them, vanishing it so that they can't interact with your Guilt Demon. If for some reason you really want to banish 2 cards, but you want to spend your vanishing instead of your Guilt Demon. And you can like vanishing surprise blockers if they drop a Lurking Giant on your turn for some reason. Before blocks, then you can play your Vanishing before blocks, so honestly, it's just very versatile. It is, of course, in my opinion, much better in Dark Draft, where people are likely to run random stuff like Angel of Mercy that gets blown out by Vanishing. Alright, where was I? Past cards. So Angel of Mercy, Spore Beast, Temporal Enforcer, Pack Alpha. So they probably actually took Pack Alpha, Spore Beast. So they're probably heavy green, just based on these first two packs. That'd be my guess. Like this third pack here, Insurgency, Siren Song, Cave Troll, Chomp, they probably took Cave Troll, Chomp. They may have taken Siren Song, Cave Troll, which I think is also reasonable. I don't think they would make any other picks besides those two possible picks. Alright, and then we're on Angelic Protector, Keeper of Secrets, Frost Giant, Ankylosaurus. They probably took, this one's a bit more questionable. Personally, I would probably take Ankylosaurus, Keeper of Secrets most of the time. But I could also see Frost Giant and Angelic Protector. These are all about equal in terms of power level. Frost Giant is just a fantastic Punisher. You play this, you get to expend all of your opponent's champions, and then you can just hit them for 8, plus all of your other champions get to attack, so they don't have any blockers. It's also very good with Surprise Attack, and they probably have Surprise Attack in their deck, which makes me think that they picked the Frost Giant here. But again, maybe they weren't thinking about the Surprise Attack. Ankylosaurus is a fine card, so you can spend your gold when you play it. It can be a mini Triceratops, 7 combat, 7 defense. You spend your gold, you draw a card, so you get like a mini Triceratops. But its real value is that you can play it for 0. You get this big threat. It's basically a 1-cost card threat. It's 7 offense, and it's difficult to block. And then you pass. You don't spend your gold at all. And then your opponent, let's say then they decide to spend their gold to do something, that's when you drop the Frost Giant. And you get in there. Or the Avenging Angel. Whatever else you have. Angelic Protector is also solid because it is a ambush champion. So it's very nice to have ambush champions. And it's very hard to punish this one because it usually gives itself unbreakable and untargetable this turn. So you can drop this, and it can pretty much block anything, survive, and then your turn starts and you attack for 5. So it's usually going to be dome your opponent for 5 and stop an attack, and then you have this Angel in play, which can do other things later in the game. All 4 of these are solid. Keeper of Secrets is very good. Discard Pile Banishment, that's just annoying. And this ally ability Recycle is very relevant. If you have 5 to 8 Sage cards at least in your deck, then you can pretty much guarantee 1 Recycle. You just hold this until you get your blue Sage 1 cost, and then you can get 1 Recycle off of it. So this is going to be better than a Tribute Recycle. Yeah, look, alright, against me, it'll show up. Yeah, I agree. That would be nice if we could do 4. We could do 4 to each. Even maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4 or something. Anyway, all right. So next 4 that we passed were this whole white pack: Gladius, Inner Peace, Palace Guard, and Banishment. But it is a good suggestion. All right. So Gladius. I'm just gonna back out here for a second. Gladius is not a card I would play in a lot of decks. I mean, you need a lot of humans out most of the time in order to make a lot of use out of Gladius, because basically you want to have lots of good champions in play, and then you play Gladius to give them all +3 offense, then make your attacks. This is one of the few cards you want to play before you make attacks, and it's just annoying to get rid of. The 11 health, and it has unbanishable, so you can't banish it. You can't deal direct damage to it unless you have Kong. And it makes 3 humans, which are going to be 4 offense because it gives your other good champions +3 offense. It's very slow. It's definitely a strange card because it's not going to immediately end the game unless you already have a lot of humans in play. But then next turn, you're not going to really get value out of it until the turn after that. So one thing that is very powerful with Gladius is you can play it in your turn. Then in your opponent's turn, you can play Secret Legion. Secret Legion gives all of your human splits, not just your human tokens. So you can play this on your opponent's turn, activate Gladius to make 3 humans, then your turn starts and you have 9 human tokens plus Gladius out. So that can be a kind of fun, a fun combo. Oh, for sure. So it's always the little things. All right, and then so personally, I think they probably took Palace Guard Banishment here, because Palace Guard is just solid in every deck, and they're not heavy good. I mean, I don't think they're heavy good. And Banishment is solid I mean, it removes a champion, and you play it on your turn almost always to draw cards, so it's just a fine way to remove a card. It's like a Triceratops type of play where you do something that you want to be doing, and then you draw a card, and you can only use it on your turn. And then there's also Inner Peace here, which again, you don't really have a lot of good cards, so you don't want to play that. And then this pack here, probably going to take Flashfire, and from there it's questionable Worm Hatchling or Secret Legion. I think Priest of Kalinor is just not a good card to take unless you really want to get that loyalty too. If you want to play this card, you want to play like you want to have something high value out and then use Priest of Kalinor on it before you attack. Like you play your Thought Plucker on their turn, and then your turn starts, and then you Priest of Kalinor it, and now your Thought Plucker is just immune to everything, and you get in with it. Same thing goes for Avenging Angels, also good target. But yeah, if you're heavy wilds, you don't really want this. So they probably took Worm Hatchling and Flashfire, because Flashfire is just a solid card. You can finish off your opponent by dealing 2 damage to them with this, as long as you're not at 2. Or you can kill a bunch of tokens, or you can kill a Thought Plucker or a Muse, or you can just draw 2 cards. Those are all great options for this card. Worm Hatchling, this is like Ankylosaurus, except that basically the more aggressive your deck is, the better this card gets. It's very risky, in my opinion. Usually what I want to do is play my 0 and then pass. So I'd want to, but you don't want to do that with Worm Hatchling. You don't just want to play Worm Hatchling and then pass, because at 4 offense, 4 defense, it's pretty small. Pretty much needs to get to 8 for it to be a threat. So ideally you play this and another 1-cost card in the same turn, and then you play a 1-cost card in their turn, and then now it's an 8 offense. And that's a pretty big threat, especially because you can also play another one on your turn, before or during attacks if you want it to be 10. And that's a lot for a 0-cost card. But Secret Legion's also fine. It's a draw 2, or you can make 6 bodies, and those bodies can just chump attacks, or they can get you some value if you want to play an Inheritance of the Meek or something like that. Or they can just be a Punisher. You can attack for 6. It's basically like having a 6 offense blitz champion. Except usually this is going to be better than 6 offense blitz, because you're going to get some damage through. So yeah, plus they know that I won't have Flashfire if they take the Secret Legion. So I personally would probably take Secret Legion Flashfire from that pack, but they might also take the Worm Hatchling. And from this last 4, Rabble-Rouser, Plague Zombies, Dark Knight, Gold Dragon. So it's almost definitely going to be Dark Knight, Gold Dragon from this pack. Rabble-Rouser is just such a specific card. Unless they just happened to be taking all of those good synergy cards like Angel of Mercy, who are the other ones? I don't think so. We got past a lot of good synergy cards. They probably didn't take this card. And then Plague Zombies is in the same boat here. You want a lot of zombie tokens for this card to be useful, because it gives all of your zombies this special ability this turn. So they probably took Dark Knight, which is a solid card in every deck. The 0-cost champion. So think of it like when you have a big hand, you want more 0-cost cards. When you have a small hand, you want more 1-cost cards, because with a big hand, you want more options. With a small hand, you also want more options, but you don't want to be constrained to only one possible play for your 1-cost card. So this card's usually going to be pretty great as long as you don't get stuck on cards in hand. You're almost always going to find a turn where you can play this and attack for 5. You might even spend your gold, pass, they spend their gold, and then you're like, oh, actually, Dark Knight hit for 5. And now you have Dark Knight in play. It also synergizes really well with cards like Apocalypse. If your turn starts with the Dark Knight out, you can attack with it, and then if they play something, you can Apocalypse during combat, but before blockers, to remove all of their stuff. Like if they drop just anything that makes bodies, you can Apocalypse. So yeah, it's pretty solid, just in every deck, and it has Ambush, so you can chump a big attack if you need to. Gold Dragon, also a perfectly fine card. I mean, even though it has this text here, your good champions have Righteous. If it only gives itself Righteous, it's a lot like Avenging Angel. You get 6 damage in, you gain 6 health, and then you have this airborne threat. But it doesn't completely lock down the game like Avenging Angel does. If your opponent doesn't have Avenging Angel removal, then you could just win the game off of that. If you have enough stuff in play, then Gold Dragon isn't going to be enough. Alright, it's possible they're not on anymore. So, I might not be able to finish this game. I mean, I'll just take one quick look at the cards that we were passed. So we were passed in early... Wait. We were passed Revolt Martial Law. We were passed Brand, Quell. I mean, they probably would take White Dragon if they were heavy good, but I don't know what else is in the pack. They would probably take Divine Judgment if they were heavy good, but again, I don't know. It's not like this card's going to completely make or break your good deck. Same thing with Brand. I mean, this card I think is very, very good in a good heavy deck. I would almost always take this card, but I would probably prefer like a Second Wind or a Noble Unicorn over this. So it's not completely crazy for them to have passed this Brand. Same thing with Quell, really. So yeah, it's possible they are heavily good. All right. I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and probably go into Arena here, and then maybe they'll be back. Maybe the Texan will come back. Too bad. We had a good game. I know it's possible they were expecting me to go faster because I usually draft faster, but whenever it's challenged dark drafts, I like to take my time and kind of explain my thought process. So it's possible they were planning on it being a lot shorter. I have a tendency to kind of just like take my time when I'm drafting. I like to think about my options, review my opponent's picks, go my deck a bit, and then sometimes I'll do the real-time ones and fly through them. Yeah. All right. In the meantime, we're gonna plan to spend our gold every turn, except when we don't. Some water here. Oh man. I remember our deck was actually pretty nice. It was a very slow deck though, so I'm gonna have to take a look at it again when we find our opponent. It's too bad because right when I was in that match, there were so many people queuing up for Arena, but I may have just missed the crowd. Or the one person jamming it over and over again. Yeah, it'll probably be backgrounded in the next update. Yeah, personally, I mean, I like to play control. Just in general, I like to play the slower decks. What I really like about slower games is that there's less variance. So when you are playing a more aggressive style, it actually means that whenever the game is shorter, there's a higher chance that one person wins because they just got a nice hand of cards that they really liked, that worked really well with each other, and the opponent didn't have the right stuff coming together. But whenever the game goes long, over time, there's going to be a lot of these small decisions they have to make. Do I attack with this one human token? What order do I attack in? Do I play this card or this card? Do I remove that guy or do I draw two right now? Do I need to gain health or can I just ignore that? Can I take the damage? Do I need to spend my gold first? And those small decisions add up. So even if they don't individually change the game on their own, when the game goes long, then you end up making a lot of those type of decisions. So it just feels like you have much more of an influence on the game if the game goes long. It's true. It's true. I would have liked to see that draft. I was taking my time with the picks though, so what can I say? I'm probably just going to start a constructed game here, and we'll see. I guess we'll see if someone goes into Arena. All right, let's play that deck. The Ragnarok. I think that's the one that we were just playing, right? I gotta quickly look here and make sure I'm not. Make sure I didn't miss something. I forgot. All right, let's just go into our deck builder here so I can take a look at this deck again. Ragnarok. Oh yeah, we play Gem of Sands. We're trying out Gem of Sands. I'm not so sure about this. We'll see. Remember this? I remember liking this deck. It was okay. I want to make it a little bit more. Just. I really wanted to focus on the. I just felt like we weren't doing anything on our turn. Sometimes we get Xanos out, but there just wasn't enough stuff. It was there's so many events. The list felt kind of awkward. So you know what I might do here is I might just copy this into another slot here. And I'm going to try building one that is similar, but we're not going to make this, we're going to make this a different main alignment. I might try and make this like a wild heavy. Ragnarok. Hopefully I'm spelling this right. I might try and make this wild heavy instead of evil heavy. Hi. Does this game work? Yeah, it works. It's free to play. You can download it on Steam or Android or App Store, and you get everything. So just jam some games. All right, where were we? Oh, this is the wrong list. I just copied the wrong one. All right, my bad. Let's do this. Ragnarok. Let's grab that one. I think I just clicked on the wrong button. Where is it? Probably at the end. Yeah. All right. All right. Now let's go ahead and just cut most of this deck out. I want to start at the basics here. I want to start with Zombie Apocalypse. Sometimes I just want to completely cut every. Wait. I'm not sure what's happening. I keep getting the wrong list here. Am I doing something wrong? I think I'm doing everything right. Alright, I've got Ragnarok. It's definitely Ragnarok. Yeah, right. Well, honestly, I just play. I just play games, and then whenever I have enough gold, I just buy a deck slot. I mean, I have 854, so I mean, I play a lot of games, so like I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. But I mean, if you just want to play against me today and you get 20 gems, and then you can. I actually don't know what the rate is on that, but it can't be that much, right? It's like 20. So yeah, if you just play against me 4 times, then you can get or win 1, then you can get your more deck slots. But I mean, there's not like there's anything really to spend. It's not like there's everything that you could spend your gold on is just cosmetic. Anyway, except for deck slots. So if you really don't care about cosmetics, then you can just play a bit and you'll have infinite deck slots in no time. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I try making another one, I'll be at my limit. Yeah. So I gotta wait until I get another 150 gold from playing. I guess it's like 5 games. Yeah. All the cards right now. It's up to. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll look into it. It's the same cards from the IRL card game, but there's no Pantheon, but that's coming. Pantheon is coming. Let's see. What do we got? Let's just start over anyway. I kind of wanted to just start over. What I want to do is I want to play. Let's go ahead and start with the basics here. I want to play Army of the Apocalypse for sure. I want to play Zombie Apocalypse for sure. Zombie Apocalypse. Let's make this a wild deck. It's very aggressive. Well, someone's looking for Arena right now, so I'm just going to save this. I'll come back to it. Oh, I'm in Constructed. Alright. We can play our Constructed, yeah. We got against Paris 101. Yes, it is coming. It is in fact coming. Right. I know because I've looked at some of the cards. Alright. The opponent is going. Oh, so they're going. We're going first. So basically, what I'm going to do here is I want cards that I can play on my turn for value. So I want to hold one of my draw twos. I have 2 draw twos here. Probably I want Zombie Apocalypse or Final Task, since this card doesn't do anything extra unless I have a champion in my discard pile. So this is like a recycle. I'll usually mulligan it if I have another draw 2 in my opening hand. I'm also going to go ahead and mulligan away Angel of Death, since it's basically a board clear. I don't really want to play that. If I already have Zombie Apocalypse, it's not going to do anything at the beginning of the game, so I'm going to toss those two. I'm just going to go ahead and run out this Gem of Sands and draw a card off of it. See what our opponent does. Yeah, I know, right? It's going to be great. It's going to be great when we have Pantheon. We have the other new cards like Duels and what's the other one? Jungle, Lost Tribe. That'll be like twice as many. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and discard one of these Necromancer Lords. I don't need both. Don't need both. I'm just going to wither that right away. I'm kind of considering Wither plus Keeper of Secrets, banish it in case they're trying to Final Task me. But I kind of need the cards, so I might just assume they don't do that. That would be very bad. If we got Final Task here, we might lose. Keeper, just don't have a hand to fight it. I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world. I could draw 2 with Zombie Apocalypse and then discard 2. Yeah, it'd be fine. It'd be recoverable. As long as we didn't get Final Tasked and like Heinous Feasted or something like that, or Final Task plus Amnesia, then it'd be fine. Plus we can draw another card off Gem of Sands. Yeah. Where's the icon at the bottom of the Pantheon cards look like? Let me look. I don't actually know. There's a card gallery, by the way. See if I can just pull up the card gallery in another tab here. Probably missing my turn. Oh, they're gonna let us start our turn? Sweet. That's value right there. Alright. I kind of need to draw cards more than attack, so I'm just gonna go ahead and draw another card here and then probably pass. Like I could Necromancer Lord reanimate that, but it's weak against a couple of things, so I'm just gonna pass. It's pretty weak against like it getting. I wouldn't want it to get bounced. I don't really want to spend my gold right away if I have a nice advantage here. Now I'll do it. Like I could draw 2 with Army of the Apocalypse, but this is quite nice. Ooh, no. It's fine. We'll go for it. Probably gonna get board cleared here, but like, is this a control deck? It looks like a control deck if they're gonna play Divine Judgment. If they're gonna play Divine Judgment, I suddenly want to really slow roll my threats, which means I want to draw 2 and not play Necromancer Lord, because Necromancer Lord on its own will actually be a threat. I don't need to play anything next to it. Alright. Yeah, no, seriously. And I feel like when people first play, they're like, what? I have to do this crazy thing for my gold? This can't be balanced. But then everyone's doing crazy things. Alright. Card gallery. I'll pull up a Pantheon card here. See if we can... Angeline's Favor. I don't know if I can I send a... let's see. Let me see if I can mess around with this for a second. I'll pull up a... It's probably like my turn right now. I'm just not paying attention. Oh, no, it's not. Alright. I'm gonna mess around with this. Image. Call this one Does that work? That's a card from Pantheon right there. Alright. I'll just leave that up for a little bit. You can tell me whatever that symbol looks like to you. I have no idea. The thing in the bottom right. It's like a, I don't know. I don't know how to explain that symbol, but that's a Pantheon card. All right, they're just gonna play this Rally the People because they don't want to discard the maximum hand size. So I'm just gonna start my turn. Not gonna fall for that. Now, the nice thing about the Djinn of the Sands is that it has two modes. Instead of using it to draw a card, we can just attack and pressure them. And it's airborne. The reason this card's in our deck is mainly because it has Blitz, so we can Army the Apocalypse out and attack with it if we want. But it's also an establishing champion, so it's kind of like a middle in between. I wanted a Sage card in this deck that didn't have loyalty or require an ally ability. So yeah, I put that one in. My opponent played it. Looks like a helmet. Helmet. Yeah. All right. Just gonna hide that now. I can pull up more though. They're all up on the card gallery. I can put a link to that if you want to look at them. You can just type Pantheon in. You can see them. You can see all the cards from Pantheon. Right here. That's the card gallery. All right, so we attacked, and now we're gonna pass. I have 7 cards in hand. No real reason to do anything. Again, this all goes back to that last card deck we played against. What you want to do is really force them to play their cards inefficiently. So we're up against some kind of control deck, I think. I don't know what this Rally of the People is. Maybe it's a token deck. But anyway, when you're up against a deck that isn't aggressive, then usually what you want to do is force them to play their cards inefficiently. You don't want to just be slamming threats and then attacking after playing them, because you're going to get blown out by something like Inherence the Meek. Like, I bet they have Inherence the Meek right now, and they're trying to decide whether or not to play it to banish just my Djinn of the Sands. And that's really where you want to be. So right now, this attack, I'm just going to take it. 1 damage is not important. And we are the more aggressive deck here. We're going to be the ones pressuring on the opponent's health total. They're going to be trying to whittle down our hand with things like Thought Plucker. We're not really worried about that. We have plenty of cards now. Yeah, they're going to rage it. Sure. It's going to take 5. I mean, it's not like I can really do anything about it anyway. I could play Zombie Apocalypse, but not really worth it. What's really nice is that cards like Rage, I honestly have no idea what their plan is right now. I don't know what this is. I guess Rage, Rally the People. Rally the People. This card could be played in like a token deck where you have lots of random tokens in play. I'm just not really sure where Rage fits in. These 2 cards just seem very counter strategy. I'm not sure what the right word is, but they seem like they go in different archetypes. Rage is a single target buff. Yeah, there's also a link to the spreadsheet there in that at the top of that page. All right, they're going to reset to return everything to the. Oh, they're going to draw 2. Okay. I personally would have. I think that like bouncing everything, they lose the 1/1, but I lose my body. That's a much better play. But I'm not sure. Maybe they're going to do something with 8 cards in hand. So right now, this Army of the Apocalypse might be pretty good. I'm just going to go ahead and play this Zombie Apocalypse to draw 2. It doesn't seem like they're threat heavy. It seems like they have a lot of events, so maybe I'll get some value out of this Army of the Apocalypse. Kind of curious to see, are they going to discard something to max? Are they going to discard Noble Martyr? I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening. Or like Soul Hunter? Is this another soldier deck? Oh man, this is ridiculous. Alright, they're not going to play anything, they're just going to discard a card to maximum hand size. It's going to be Entangling Vines. Alright, I don't think they have a particular deck archetype, I think they're just playing cards that they like. The single human token strat, yeah. Hey, it's infinite, you just keep recalling it. It's 1 gold per human token. You get as many as you want. Alright, they're going to turn that. What's cool is they can actually just draw a card off of it. They didn't draw a card off of it. Oh man. They could have just drawn a card off of it right now. Let's see. I mean, it's probably just going to be Xanos for a bunch. I mean, I could Necromancer Lord again. It just isn't crazy value or anything. It'd be Necromancer Lord, Dopplucker. I guess that's fine. I'll probably wait until I have more evil cards to play Xanos or like an empty board, because I'm about to get that back. So let's just go ahead and draw a card here. Go ahead and recall this, reveal the Plentiful Dead and the Rift Summoner probably. Maybe the Xanos, because the Xanos can't really be played around. Go ahead and bring back Necromancer Lord, and then I'll go ahead and reveal the same two to bring back their Thoughtplucker. Make them discard a card and I draw a card. Then I can discard some champions that'll get reanimated by that Army of the Apocalypse. Sounds good. It feels like a good time to Amnesia, and I have Keeper Secrets in hand, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. They have a juicy discard pile. I'll go ahead and leave the Zombie Apocalypse, since I have another army in hand. And then I'm just going to go ahead and discard down to maximum hand size. So I'll be discarding 2, and it'll be Sea Titan, because I don't really need Sea Titan in this hand. Alright, and I'm just going to use it to draw a card, which means I can attack now. Basically, if you do something, if I pass, then I get priority back if they decide to do something. So I'm just going to go ahead and discard the Sea Titan and probably the Angel of Death. I think that those two are the ones. I want to keep my zeros. Definitely want to hold on to Plentiful Dead. I only have one Necrolord, Overlord. Oh, okay, you know what I mean. I mean, they're probably about to banish all here or something. Again, I don't think that board clears are going to be very good against this deck, since it seems like an event-heavy deck with these small champions. I mean, you've seen Entangling Vines, but usually decks that play Entangling Vines actually don't have a lot of threats. This is used to kind of overload your opponent going 1-for-1. Yeah, they're going to banish all. Alright, that's fine. That's why we kept this Rift Summoner right here, and I didn't want to reveal it. Now, Plentiful Dead is a fantastic combo of Rift Summoner. Ready for this? Rift Summoner, Loyalty 2, you get a Demon Token. And then you can expend it to break a champion to get 2 Demon Tokens. So what we're going to do, actually, is we're going to play Plentiful Dead, play Rift Summoner, get back our Plentiful Dead, show these 2 again to get our Demon Token. And then we're going to break the Zombie Token to get 2 Demon Tokens. Look at that. We just got 17 offense for our 1 gold. That sounds like a good play. Except it's an evil play. Alright. I know this one guy who he makes good alignment puns all the time. Every single time he plays a good card, he says, "That's a good card." See? That's a good card right there. It's good. Oh man. It's seeped into me. It's now part of me. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a pretty silly one. Alright, so here if we hit with everything, right? We go 4, okay, we win. Yeah, I mean, this is why I play Rift Summoner in this deck. It's just great as a way to, you want to hold on to it until your opponent clears the board. I mean, not against a wild deck or something, but... Alright, looks like Texan just got off. I'm not sure what that was up with. What time is it? Alright. I'll probably make this deck here and then call it. But let me just make this wild deck. Just talking about it. We didn't really get... I mean, I guess I played 2, but... Alright, I'm going to just start with the shell here. We're going to make a wild... Eve. $1 million. Alright. Let's go ahead and make this, let's go ahead and fill out this deck here. Yeah, I know it's good to play right away, but I think it's just been a little awkward today. That's fine though. I want to play some Blitz champions in this deck. That's the thing. That's what I want. Blitz champions. Let's not just do wild though. Let's look. Maybe we'll end up playing a different color instead. We don't want loyalty 2 Blitz, so we could play Avenging Angel, Gold Dragon, Lord of the Arena, Noble Murder, Rebel Rouser. Those are all options. Faithful Pegasus. Winged Death, Saren, Vampire Lord, Dark Knight, Guilt Demon, Little Devil Thrasher Demon. And in Sage, you've got Citadel Raven. It's not a bad choice. It's a little, not, it's hard to get use out of because it's so value heavy. You really want to play this in like an aggressive, maybe a tempo heavy. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what you want to play this. Some kind of deck that you, for some reason, you run low on cards in hand, but you always put pressure on the board. But you also run a lot of events. And usually those two are, usually when you play a type of deck that has a lot of pressure on the board, it has a lot of champions. Gem of Sands, Juggernaut, and Nayavalara. Frost Giant. Frost Giant's not a bad choice. Veldin. And then we've got some zero cost cards here. Force Mage Keeper, Shadow Imp. We've got Bellowing Minotaur, Greyhorn Lizard. No, Power Sword doesn't work. Rampaging Worm, and Strafing Dragon. So actually nothing too crazy as far as wild goes. We could do something like a Sage heavy Army of the Apocalypse deck. I'll probably still do wild heavy anyway. I kind of want to try it out. Let's make something that's a bit more aggressive. Let's go ahead. In this deck, we're going to do something a little different than usual. I want to play Brachiosaurus for sure. I want this deck to just really go all in. That's what I want. I want an all-in deck. I want to go ahead. I want to play this Parasaur. Play Raging T-Rex because we're going to run out of cards really fast. Maybe Rampaging Worm. I definitely want Strafing Dragon. This card's quite nice. We could probably honestly run Greathorn Lizard in this deck. Yeah, I mean, Citadel Raven actually works with Army of the Apocalypse because you can Army of the Apocalypse your Citadel Raven back into play, and then you attack, and then you get the Army of the Apocalypse back. But it's just hard to set yourself up so for it to be amazing with events that generate tokens. Yeah, maybe events that generate tokens. Maybe like a hunting pack type of thing. Or was that one I was just talking about? Greyhorn Lizard. I want to try this card out in this deck. I want to play this. I want to punish my opponent by attacking them for 10 randomly. And then just have this somehow I want to Army the Apocalypse this back into play. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Alright. And then we're also going to play some surprise attacks. Just go ahead and leave this here for now. We'll come back to it. Run over to Evil for a second. Putting Army Zombie. Let's also run Final Task in this deck. And I can't run any Loyalty 2s because we don't have enough really to run it. I could play Grave Demon, would be fine. I'm probably just going to play a one-of, like a one-of something, like or Drain Essence, maybe. Not sure how aggressive I want to be. Like I could run Plague in this deck, it would be fine. Plague would be fine. Or Gudgeon. I don't know, let's try Gudgeon out. I like having lots of cards that draw to and then lots of things to spend my cards on. So we'll go ahead and run Gudgeon in this list. We go over to zeros here, and I definitely want to play some Discard Pile Banishment. It's probably going to be Guild Demon Heinous Feast, but we'll see. I might come back and change this. For now, we're just going to go ahead and toss in Guild Demon Heinous Feast so that we can get rid of their discard pile before we play Army, Zombie, Apocalypse type stuff. And now we're going to go ahead and run over Sage because I definitely want to play Crystal Golem in any deck that is super heavy on Army of the Apocalypse. End up playing a couple of colors here, but that's fine. Could play Frost Giant, could be fun. Frost Giant could definitely work. So let's do Frost Giant here. Big champion, expends all their champions. It's going to be great in our aggressive shell that we're playing. Now let's see what we got. Right now we have 36, so we can only do 4 more one-cost cards, really. So, let's see. We have, that's a fine splash. I'm not sure how many champions there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't really run Misguided Herald that well in this deck. Maybe. Definitely be tough, I think. Let's go over to Wild again. I need to play more wild cards. I need that wild amount to be pretty high. I'm going to play Surprise Attack. Okay, I'm already running that. I'm going to play... Like, this might be a deck for Lightning Storm, because sometimes I'll just recall it instead of drawing 2, because I don't have that many things to do, basically. I think this is a good deck for Lightning Storm. And I think it's also a good deck for... I mean, I also just want some kind of reach. Smash and Burn, I think, is also a nice choice in this deck. And the other one that I think is good is Draka and Fire's Rebellion and Kong. Those cards, I want to play all of them. But I can't do that. So, how many Punishers do I have? I have Pyrosaur, Greathorn Lizard, Final Task, 3 and Strafing Dragon. That's probably enough. And Frost Giant. I have enough. So let's go ahead and just not run Draka here. We'll go ahead and run Lightning Storm. Rain and Fire could also be playable. This could also be Draka's Fire, really. How many things do I have that Draka's Fire would hit? Let's change that. We'll play Lightning Storm. We'll try it out. And then let's play Smash and Burn. Let's play like one Rampage. Let's play one of our foil Rampaging Worms. Just in case. I'm going to cut a Smash and Burn or a Lightning Storm. Probably the Smash and Burn. Don't have very many ways to draw cards. But I also don't have a lot of burn. I'll cut one of the Lightning Storms. And then, so here's our ones. We're done with our ones here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and go over to zeros. Like, this could run Citadel Raven. I'm definitely going to play Rage for sure. Definitely want to have Rage in this deck. And then from there, let's do our Sage zeros. I usually just like kind of go around and do them in a haphazardly. I don't do them all in a specific order. It's in some kind of very clean order. Keeper of Secrets, normally I'd really like it in this kind of deck, but I can't really run it because I don't have any 1-cost cards to hit this off of. I'm not going to get to activate it very often. It's just going to banish a single card. So it's probably Amnesia over that Keeper of Secrets. I could run something like Vanishing. I could play an evil 0-cost card instead of a Heinous Feast if I wanted to. I could do like 1 Heinous Feast and then run like 2 Dark Knights or something, or Little Devils. So let's run Little Devils. These are very nice with Army of the Apocalypse, so we'll go ahead and run Little Devils. And then we'll also go run back over to Wilds here, and we just need to fill out our free cards. So there's no Blitz free wild cards, unfortunately. So I am going to go ahead and run some recycling. I just have Amnesia right now, so I'm also going to go ahead and run Wolf's Bite here as a way to get rid of small champions. And probably, you know what I could do actually? This could be a good deck for, change my mind. We're gonna cut the Amnesia. I have an even better idea. We're gonna go back over to Free Sage. We're gonna run Frantic Digging. This might be the perfect Frantic Digging deck so far. Because we're gonna discard a card, draw a card, recycle. We're gonna go ahead and discard our champion, and then we're going to play Army of the Apocalypse. Alright, that's the plan for this deck. That's going to be the plan. That's the game plan. I'm already excited. Alright, we're going to go over to Wild's free cards here. We definitely want to play Cave Troll now. Going to give us some synergy with our Frantic Digging. And right now, I accidentally have too many evils because I forgot to take the Little Devils out. So where are the Little Devils? We're going to cut those, even though it was a nice idea. And then I think we're good. I think this is a good deck. I'm going to cut 1 Rage and play a Lash over it. I'm getting kind of greedy here. I should probably cut one of these Wolf's Bite or Cave Trolls, but I'm not gonna. Alright, and then we're done. This is our deck. I like the 1 Lash. Since I don't have that much card draw, I might need to recall it instead of drawing 2. But otherwise, I like this deck. I like there's some cool stuff happening. Might get to surprise deck out a Frost Giant and send my champions on their turn. As to how soon, I don't know, honestly. I mean, we're doing a couple of other things at the same time, so that's a good question. But I imagine that we're going to actually, as a bit of a spoiler, we're going to have some other things that are going to be new in the app before the Pantheon cards. Probably in the next upcoming weeks. I mean, it probably won't be sooner than a month, but I guess we'll have to see how things shake out. But in the meantime, I'm just going to keep making strange decks here, and we'll try out the super aggressive Army of the Apocalypse build with, we're going to Final Task our Raging T-Rexes and draw 2 cards and then attack for 12, and just run out our cave trolls and pass sometimes, and I think this deck's going to be a lot of fun. But that's going to be it for today, so I'll be calling it, and we'll be playing, I'll be back again on a Wednesday for the next stream. But have a good evening, everyone, and good luck with your games.